There's 4 objections. Price, spouse, time. I gotta think about it, Tanner. Belief, that's it. There's no other objection. You will never get any other objection. That's it. When I did door to door, there were 85 objections, I swear to God. This is the simplest. Okay, so here's how you handle price. All right, Ashley, the price of the program is $12 million. I don't give a shit what they say, it doesn't matter. Oh, Tanner, that's too much. I just don't have 12 million. I totally get it, Ashley. No problem. Before I move into anything else, is there anything besides the price that would stop you from moving forward today? You always isolate objections. What does isolate mean? You push it into a corner and you do not let them out. Because if you don't, they're gonna change on you. Okay, so you'll like, oh, it's the price. Well, what if I did this? What if I did that? I still gotta think about it. I gotta talk to, like, I don't want that. So I say, is there anything besides price that would stop you from moving forward? Okay, that's called a tie down. They're gonna go, no, just price. Cool. So I'm gonna tie that down twice because I want this to be really strong. So I'm gonna got it. So if we're able to figure out the price today, then you're willing to move forward. Yes. Okay. Now, what do rookie salesmen do? Oh my God. Okay. So you can't do 12 million. What about 11? What about 10? What about 9? What about 8? What about 7? What about 6? And the person's like, dude, you are so desperate. Imagine a guy asked you for your number and you said no. He's like, oh, please, please.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, dude.
No.
Okay. So here's how it goes. I'm gonna move my hand as I go. This is a framework. Framework means like, this isn't exactly what to say. This is how to think.
Okay.
So the price of the program is $5,800 typically, but if you can put down something to start today, it's $3,000 for you.
Okay.
Sound fair? Oh, Tanner, that's too much. Okay, totally get it. Is there anything besides price that would stop you from moving forward today? No, it's just price. Got it. So if we're able to figure out price, you're willing to move forward? Sure. Ashley, great, I'm glad to hear that. So I can best help you. What's your cash on hand look like? Credit cards, bank accounts, savings, crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. What's your cash on hand? I don't know, Tanner. Oh, Ashley, of course you do. Like, how much do you make in a month typically? I want a number. I'm gonna stay here until they give me a number. If they don't give you a number, you're like, yo, I cannot help you unless you give me a number. You get the number. You have to, okay? So let's do 2 scenarios. Let's say they say 3,000. Let's say they say $100.
Okay.
Okay. So your price of the program, let's say your price of the program is 3,000. Okay. Well, Tanner, I got 3,000. Okay, cool. So it sounds like you have enough. Can we go ahead and move forward with that? That's like the easiest one. Or like, let's say your program is 5,000. They have 3,000. Cool. So let's go ahead and put that down. We'll do the rest on the payment plan. Sound good? That's all you have to do. So let's say they say I have $100. Okay. Well, then I'm like, okay, so Tanner, you literally only have Ashley, you only have $100. You're like, yeah, that's like literally all I have. So now you have 2 options. Either A, you take what they got and do a payment plan, and you should have a number that you're like, I'm not going below this. I would recommend for you, you don't go below $200, period. Or you're like, well, Ashley, the lowest I can go is $200. You only have 100. Are you able to make that work? And you're like, Tanner, I really can't. That's all I have. I'm like, okay, no worries. Like, so let's go ahead and wrap the call up. When you get in a better financial position, reach out and you end the call. That's it. But what people do is on sales calls, they sound like idiots because they're like, oh, but what about, oh, okay, well, what if we do this? What if we do this? What if we do this? And they're like, dude, like, I don't want to work with you now because they sound desperate. But when you ask for cash on hand, now you sound intelligent because think about it. If I was like, hey, Ashley, so you're like, Tanner, I want to get a car. I'm like, cool, I found you a sick car. It's like 10 grand. Do you want to go get it? You're like, well, Tanner, I'm your friend. Like, say I don't even get commission. I'm like, well, Tanner, I only have 5 grand. I'm like, cool. Or I'm like, Tanner, I can't afford it. Well, what do you think I'm going to fucking ask you? Well, how much money do you have?
Right.
And you're like, well, I got 5,000. Well, then I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. So like, I think if you do a payment of 5,000, they'll do the rest on a payment plan. Does that work? What if you're like, well, Tanner, I got $3. I was like, oh, okay. Well, like, we should get the car today. Let's save up. So remember, think of it as like, if it was your friend, what would you say?
Okay.
That's what a friend would do. They'd ask how much money you have. They wouldn't be like, well, what about?
No, that's
Don't
true,
do that.
Actually.